Yo, what's up? Bros, brews, and botches, 60-second sips. That's right, we're in the same place at the same time. Did you know about that?
Yo.
It's over here, boy. And this is your hostess with the mostest, Yellow Boy. You can find him everywhere on the social medias under his tags. And if you don't know by now, you ain't going to know. But we're going to talk about Survivor Series this year. We got to watch it together, y'all. Uh, I don't know where Hogs Wars is. Probably hanging out at the sausage factory. If you know, you know, ain't it? Anyway, how'd you? What'd you think about what's going on here this whole time, Yellow?
Hey, you know what? This was a different Survivor Series. This was War Games, so we didn't have the traditional Survivor Series matches. We had the War Game style matches, and one I will say that I am very glad that it was a 5 match card instead of a 13 match card like it was for AEW. So it made for an easier watch, but it to coin a phrase from our brother who is not here, it did not suck. So
Good.
there's that.
That's right.
But I guess we could get into going over the matches, I guess, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, right off the cuff, they started with the women's War Games match, which, if you know who was in it, because I don't remember, that's not true. It was Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss,
Oscar,
Oscar, and
Mia Yim.
Mia Yim. That's it. And they were going against Rhea Ripley, Bailey, Dakota Kai, uh, what's it go? Io
Io
Sky.
Sky. Why am I blanking?
Oh yeah, Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
And did we get all of them?
Yep, that's
They
it.
was five on each team.
Crazy Nikki Cross.
Net crazy Nikki Cross. Yeah, but yeah, it was a good way to get it started. Um, I think the thing that me and Yella noticed as we were watching it, like they would pop the timer up on who was supposed to come in, and then it would just disappear or wouldn't show up altogether. And we were like, yeah, I wonder if you was keeping real boy time, if it was really keeping time. But the match is pretty hype. I mean, Dakota Kai started off with Bianca Belair of all things, and Dakota Kai got yeeted all over the ring right off the cuff. Man, what did you think about some of that?
I just like you had said, one of your observations from the match was that they picked the two people with the biggest motors, the two folks who were able to go through the matches the longest, who had the most endurance, which obviously Bianca Belair with her CrossFit background, but then Dakota Kai as well started the match off. And yeah, like you said, Dakota Kai was thrown around the match the most into the cage multiple times by Bianca. She just threw her like she was a small child. Um, but I mean, there's a lot. I feel like it was a good choice to put this match on first. That kind of one heat the crowd up, and two because these war game matches take up a considerable amount of time. So it definitely was a good choice to put these on at the beginning. So I enjoyed it. Um, I know that there were a few spots in there where like Bailey brought in some toys, and the crowd, of course, always a lover of tables, which tables were eventually brought in, but not initially. Of course, EO was gonna do EO stuff like her moonsault from the top of the cage. At least this time, she didn't have a garbage can over her when she did the moonsault or any kind of dive across top from the cage. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff that popped in there. I will say it was a relatively fun match, though.
Oh yeah.
What pointed out to you on that match?
When Bailey tried to do some sort of Hurricane Rana and Bianca Belair power bombed her right on her head, dude. Like that was brutal. Like it was just like a sheer drop straight down, like right on. I was like, what happened right then? It was crazy. But yeah, that's really what stood out to me. Other than that, I mean, I really think that it was it did what it was supposed to do, and it put over the people that were supposed to put over. So
The question is who do you think will more or less be the next person in the number one contendership for the title after this is all said and done? Because right now, we did have Bailey in that role, and now the match is over and such like that. Do you think they're going to do the big, I guess you call it a house match with Bianca and with Rhea? So you think that's going to be the next?
I think they probably will go that route, and because they're already alluding to a thing between Bailey and the man, if you will,
Becky.
Becky, big dollar sign, big Mac, big Bex, big Hollerville,
Big time
big
Bex.
time Bex. Yeah, I think they're really alluding to that. So, like, I think that's definitely what they'll go with that route. And to be honest, it has to be almost Rhea Ripley at this point in time because pretty much everybody on the Raw side's already been fed. So, I don't
And
know.
and we didn't see anything with Bray Wyatt and or at least I didn't see initially. Maybe we'll go back and watch, but I didn't see anything with Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. So
Yeah, that's right.
there wasn't anything there. But I guess the conclusion of the match. I don't even remember the actual conclusion of the match.
It
No.
don't matter. The good guys won and the bad guys didn't wins.
Um, wasn't it through the table? It was
Oh yeah,
a
that was
table.
it. So there was a bunch of KOD bull crap going on from Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch. They set up Dakota Kai and Sky on the table. Bailey tried to come in for the save. She got KO'd as well. And then Becky Lynch come off the top rope with that like pretty much butt leg drop right on through both Sky and Dakota. Game over. 1, 2, 3, and count it up. King Kong Bundy 5. It's over. Yo. Anyway, I'm done talking about this.
Team Bianca won,
Yo.
which leads to the next match. Which was the hell the next match?
You remember what the next match was? It's AJ
AJ.
AJ and Finn Balor. Like, this is a blow off match, and not necessarily a blow off in the fact that it's going to end the feud, in my opinion. It was to allude to a bigger, it's going to be the OC and Mia Yim against the Judgment Day. That's got to happen. They haven't had a real full fleshing out of that yet. It was a good match for what it was, but it's what I expected too. So I don't know how you feel about it.
I felt pretty good. And I was telling you during we were watching it or whatnot. If y'all don't know, Carl Anderson is actually going to defend the Never Openweight Championship on December the 14th for New Japan. Which who'd have thought that would happen? Everyone with WWE. So apparently, New Japan is the forbidden door, and possibly Uncle Allen, AJ Styles, will be there in attendance as well. Y'all want none, but um, yeah, I mean, when this match was booked, I really didn't care because the overarching storyline is about all of Judgment Day versus all of the OC and not just AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. So I knew once they booked this match, it was probably going to go on to something more. So I'm only assuming that Royal Rumble they'll have a match for with all of them involved. But for what it's worth, Uncle Allen and Finn Balor did what they needed to do in this match and kind of put each other over. Um, what was the finish on this match?
So yeah, like we've been hanging out, and when the boys hang out, the boys imbibe in the libation. So we may or may not remember stuff, but I remember this one. So Gallows and Anderson and Eddie Guerrero Jr. and the Archer of St. Thomas's Past, y'all know who I'm talking about, Damian Priest. They all got into a scuffle outside, and there was this and that. Well, all of them ended up leaving. Anyway, Finn Balor, AJ Styles going back and forth. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, AJ Styles hit the phenomenal forearm for a clean 1, 2, 3. I thought there was going to be a kick out. No, it was just bam. Done, son. So yeah, AJ went over Finn Balor, which I didn't expect. But at the same time, Judgment Day's been getting a lot of wins on big shows, so it's probably time for him to catch a L. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We look for that feud to continue moving on to the new year and into Royal Rumble season. So, yeah, match continues. Then after that, yeah, you got the. I guess that's the.
Palate cleanser.
I hate to do that to the
Dude, it's the
women.
work, but that's what our good brother Hogs Wars always says about certain matches in the card. Just so happened to be a women's match here. I don't feel the same way about women's matches. Yellow Boy doesn't, and also Hogs Wars doesn't. As one Mr. Jim Cornette, that's got heat with me wherever Yuns is. But still, having said that, this match, I couldn't care less about it. I really couldn't. I don't know how you feel, but it's just like I
I
didn't
don't
care.
think anyone that was watching this match thought that Shotzi had a chance, snowball's chance in hell to beat Ronda Rousey. I think it was a placeholder. I think eventually what's going to end up happening is somehow you're going to have Shayna and Ronda cross, and they're gonna go at each other. But until then, right now you've got just kind of placeholders and Shotzi. Bless her, like Shotzi. I was telling OHB while we were watching the match that Shotzi on the Indies was great because she took a bunch of chances. She did a whole bunch of stuff that you don't think or you don't see a lot of women doing in women's matches and such. Unfortunately, oh snap, we got the bots in the chat. Bots are in the chat, baby. We done made it. You know you made it when the bots are in the chat.
Yeah, I love you. Finding love in your town. Thanks, bots. We always love it whenever you're trying to tell us to find love in our town. But you need to hit up Hogs Wars at wamplersausage.com for that. Wampler's Farms. He got you hooked up on that taco meat. Long and skinny, just like you like it.
We made it. We got the bots in the chat and we ain't doing a Blue Chew ad. So yeah. But eventually, like I said, they're gonna have Shayna and Ronda go at each other. Shotzi, for what it's worth, Shotzi is, to me, she's here and there with her performance in the ring. I mean, today she was very solid for what it was worth, and having her and Ronda, because Ronda can be a little rough around the edges in matches because she's not a wrestler, and I can only imagine somebody who's MMA trained going into a choreographed wrestling, how that would be trying to not do what they're supposed to do.
Oh, this camera's its own one. Anyway.
They can't get because it's got two people in here now. They don't know how to act with two
What's
people.
happening? I can't see one of them. Oh.
I'm blending into the background. I'm part of the bricks.
Brick City.
Bricks. All white bricks. White tan bricks. Oh, my bad. But what did you think about the match?
So you were saying I can only imagine. No, seriously. There was one spot though Shotzi did, and he had said, it's all about your dance partner. She was trying what seemed to be a DDT. She was going to flip over the top of the ropes and then hit her with an apron DDT. Well, Ronda wasn't as agreeable probably as that move would have went down, and it was absolutely botched. It didn't look good, but at the same time, I knew what was she was trying to go for, and I think that had it been somebody else, it probably would have went off a little bit better without a hitch. So, but at the same time, I don't really see Shotzi in a lot of like singles matches on the main roster. She's normally been in multi tags and things like that. So, like, I'm glad they gave her a shot like this. But I mean, they could have probably gave her a shot with somebody a little bit more not technical wrestling. I'll just say that to be nice. Yeah.
I would have been more, having maybe Raquel, which they wrote off as far as having an injury. Yeah. I would have been more. It'd been more believable to me that Raquel might have gotten the championship over Shotzi. And that's no shot to Shotzi. That's just how she's been booked. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you book her a little bit better, then she's more credible. But right now, and then it's going to lead to who's going to be next on the list as far as against Ronda Rousey at this point. So
Like this, the SmackDown women roster compared to the Raw's women roster is like a little bit like this weaker. To be honest, in my opinion, I'm not saying that it's like completely, but it's just like, okay, so we had Pro Wrestling Illustrated 500 come out with Charlotte Flair as being one of the top women wrestlers in the world. Where's she been? Time for her to show back up. If nothing else, take the spotlight off of that, and maybe they can do some moving around because like Shotzi is not it. It's another one of those like feed me more type. I hate to say that, but like I don't feel like they really developed her that much, you know. So yeah,
stupid. Stupid.
and also you know what? Yeah. Anyway, but anyway, moving right along. It's the next is what? Oh, we didn't even say Ronda Rousey won that match yeah, retained with her armbar Jujikatami submission hold.
She hit the Piper's Pit and rode it right into the Juju.
And it was over. And then she said, this is for you, girl, or whatever to Shayna Baszler, and went on with that submission. That's exactly what we thought would happen. Moving right along. If that wasn't you picked on DraftKings, I'm sorry. I hope you didn't put your whole 401k into that boy. Moving on, baby. What's the next match?
Is it the triple threat for the U.S. title, which was Bobby Lashley versus the champion Seth freaking Rollins versus Austin Theory. A-Town, damn. Austin Theory. Which it was a really good match. I mean, really good match. It had a lot of psychology in it as far as with I don't know, is Bobby Lashley a heel or a face at this point?
I'll be honest, like the way they're portraying him, because he came out there, he still had his baby face entrance. He's not really. I don't think he could pull a tweener off by any means because he's not. He's either is or he is not. He can't. He can't be an in between type. But yeah, like I don't know, man. I think they're pushing him to be a heel, and maybe that's the road they're going to go with. After everything's said and done with this particular match. But I don't know. I don't think he's either. He does heel stuff, and then like at the same time he does face stuff. It's weird.
Yeah.
He's not a very good tweener. He's not like a Stone Cold or something like that. But anyway,
one thing for sure is that Austin Theory is a heel.
Number one.
He is a heel, and I know you had said throughout the match, that Austin, you feel as Austin Theory is the future of what WWE is going to be, and like just the look of Austin Theory, like the guy is jacked. He looks like a wrestler. He's got some tricep muscles for days. Like the dude is definitely got that look. It's sad that he got pushed to the moon during Vince's era, and then Vince left, and then it was kind of he was left out there on an island with Triple H, and now it seems like Triple H has an idea. Like a lot of people were kind of against him cashing in the Money in the Bank like he did, but of course a lot of folks thought that the Money in the Bank was what they called the albatross around his neck, and it was holding him back from being in other storylines. So yeah, I know that the beginning of this match, it looked like they were trying to get Austin Theory out of the way so that they kept throwing him out the ring so it could be a one-on-one match with Bobby Lashley and Seth freaking Rollins. And Seth freaking Rollins is super over right now.
Oh yeah, he doesn't even have to try to do anything. People cheer him. So if they can't capitalize on that momentum he's got some way, like that, shame on them. But I think they will because he's pretty keen. Like, and by he I mean Triple H. But having said that, you were talking about Austin Theory. I think that they kind of let him do a slow burn on all the stuff that was happening to him. And they've kind of, because he was a Triple H guy back in NXT anyway. They were pushing him there. he came up here, got pushed to the moon, and I think it was a, hey, we're gonna knock you down a peg, see how you handle this adversity. He must have went through it with a good spirit
Mm-hmm.
because what ended up happening in this match?
A-Town down. Like, so there was a series of events where Seth Rollins, he does the superplex from the top rope and then pulls him back into trying to do a Falcon Arrow
Right.
after that.
Yeah.
Well, he had Austin Theory in the superplex, went up to do the Falcon Arrow, and Bobby Lashley hit him with a spear,
Yep.
and which Austin Theory gets him out of it, gets Bobby Lashley out, turns it into a pins the champion. That's the I think that's the bigger part
Yeah,
in
that's
that.
it.
He pins the champion. He pins Seth freaking Rollins to become the new United States champion
Mm-hmm.
over on Raw, which again, I think they're righting a wrong with that because the biggest gripe about his cash in was that Seth Rollins was doing an open uh what
Open
do you call it?
challenge. Yeah,
Open
yeah, yeah.
challenge for
Like John Cena used to do.
yeah,
Did it? Yeah.
doing an open challenge, and he cashed in his money
Didn't
in the
need to
bank.
do that.
Like, you're doing an open challenge, you don't need to.
Yeah.
So I think they're righting that wrong of him cashing in, kind of with him winning the championship. I'm just interested to see what the next step is because
Yeah.
like who will be the number one contender? Will we do a whole feud with Seth Rollins? Is it going to still be some more stuff with Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley, or will we just move away from that completely and get Seth Rollins into some form of championship?
I would, if I was booking, like, this is always fantasy booker on me, I would get Seth out of that whole, mid card. I hate to say that,
Yeah,
but the Intercontinental belts and the U.S. belts are always like the mid card, upper mid card titles before you move to the next echelon. So get Seth Rollins out of there, find him something else to do. But to be honest, he's so over that he's kind of got that Undertaker thing going for him. He don't even need a title belt. People just want to see him.
yeah,
So I don't know, man. It's interesting to see how they're gonna ride him.
yeah. I mean, like you said, he can do no wrong.
Mm-mm.
If folks just want to come out and sing, sing along with his theme music. Ooh, ooh. And so, hey, it's just going to be interesting to see for the next couple of weeks as they build to Royal Rumble what will be the whole U.S. title scene
Yeah,
moving forward.
for sure.
But dang, does that lead us to is that
Yeah,
the main?
that's we're at the main. Like, man, we're for y'all that's watching, and by y'all, y'all need to get on it.
Yeah,
We're 23 minutes in, and we're already at the main
main,
event.
the main
This is gonna be the
event.
shortest Bros, Brews, and Botches review of all times. Cause we ain't talking about sausages.
Not at all. No sausages.
Yo,
No wamplers, no sausages, no. What else that man be talking about?
yo,
I
food.
can't say it on this stream. I tell you that. Got
But
chillings.
now the thing about this main event, though, that this whole thing with the bloodline has been a tremendous story from the beginning of Sami Zayn's introduction into the bloodline, and like it continues on here. Like there's a lot of things that me and Yella even said, "Oh, this might happen. This might happen." None of the things happened, and it ended up being awesome. So I want to see where they go with this. I hope they don't break it. It's like a fragile egg right now. It's like, okay, this thing's awesome right now, but let's not drop it. Anyway, having said that, let's move on to the next show, which is the main event. Anyway, Yellow Boy, what you think about this? Yeah,
Yeah. Well, they had Jay and Butch,
Pete
who
Peter Dunn for yuns that know.
Pete Butch,
Yeah, Pete Butch Bruiser Crate,
Butch Dunn,
Butch Crate Dunn.
because like he's slowly metamorphosizing back into Pete Dunn, but yeah, as OHB said, the bigger overarching point of this whole match was the dynamic between the bloodline and Sami Zayn.
Absolutely.
Because on Friday, if you watch Friday Night SmackDown, there was a backstage segment with Sami Zayn talking to Kevin Owens, rather Kevin Owens talking to Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens was saying how the bloodline even turned on their own kind. So what will happen if there's a misstep with Sami Zayn? And Kevin Owens said you might want to go ahead and get them before they get you. And Jay Uso was listening. He was eavesdropping on that whole conversation. So,
Like you do.
yeah, fast forward to tonight, and uh, Roman Reigns confronts Sami Zayn on that and asks him, did you talk to Kevin Owens? And Sami Zayn actually was honest and said, yes, I was talking. He was like, I was talking to Kevin Owens. Really, Kevin Owens was talking to me, and he told him exactly what Kevin Owens had said. And Roman Reigns wanted to know where did Sammy's where does his loyalty lie? And Sammy said it lies with the bloodline as it always has. So that played an overarching kind of story throughout it.
And Sammy held eye contact with Roman Reigns the whole time. And then what happened? After he told him the truth about all that went down, Roman Reigns brought it in for the real thing and said, I appreciate that. And then it looked on his face. He said, I was like, oh, right there it was. And then you had Fat Albert in the background talking about
Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock's Fat Albert, baby.
Good evening.
They're talking about. We talking about Paul E. Dangerously and the Dangerous Alliance. What had Arn Anderson in it, baby? Woo! What you know about that? Anyway, moving on. So the actual match hits down. Who's the first up in there?
First ones in there, like I said, was Jay Uso and Butch. Butch Dunn, Pete Butch.
Pete Butcher Rooney.
But like I said, it didn't take long for a lot of chaos to happen in that match. Like I said, we'll fast forward and spare all the details in there. Hey, you know what? Was there any blood on this show?
No, they wasn't at all, actually. But I will say we are going to fast forward so we don't keep y'all on this. But Sami Zayn did things throughout this match to show his loyalty. The first thing being is he pulled Jay out the way to keep him from getting annihilated. And then he said, I got you, just right there to his face. And then everything kept going after that. Multiple times, Sammy. How many times he got to do it? It was like Christ talking about you denied me 3 times. Sami Zayn said, I got your back all the times. And then what happened?
He kept, like I said, he kept telling Jay that he had his back. And there was a moment where finally, because they kept teasing it throughout, where Sammy and Kevin Owens went face to face, and they didn't do anything to each other until the last of the end of the match or whatnot. And they were face to face, and Kevin Owens looked like he was going to. Still got more bots in
here.
Hey,
the bots on it, boy. They're talking about if you ain't happy in your life, grab a hold of a smiley face, a thumb, a lip, and some wetness. You good.
Well, you got a lot of bots in the chat. Tired of being alone? Them bots will help you, apparently.
Good bots. Diamond Dallas Page, look at that. You know what that means upside down? You remember Ready to Rumble? Oh, okay, we're moving on for that.
But it was at the end of the match, or towards the end of towards the conclusion, Kevin Owens got a hold of Jay Uso, in which he was in front of Sami Zayn, which Sami Zayn went ahead and hit him with the old low blow to Kevin Owens in front of the tribal chief.
Yeah.
Which that's important because the tribal chief, they did a look. They were on the ground at one point before the face-off between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and tribal chief looked over at Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn looked over at tribal chief, and then they looked over.
They did that nod.
And that's when he showed his loyalty, gave him the low blow, got Kevin Owens in the corner, looked back over to the tribal chief to get the acknowledgement. He gives him the hell of a kick.
Blasted him with it.
Blasted him in the corner, which then he gave the approval to Jay Uso. Just kind of put him on the platter. Said, here you go. Jay Uso with the splash from the top rope on to Kevin Owens to get the pin, to get the win for Team bloodline, I guess you would call it. Team.
Yeah, and it was love fest after that. Everybody was hugging everybody. Even Jay walked up on Sammy. He's like, "Oh, my boy." So like that whole scenario, Yella just said, Kevin Owens hit Roman Reigns with a stunner. Jay comes in and blasts him with a super kick, but didn't connect on Owens. He blocked it. And as soon as he was holding Jay like that, that's when Sami Zayn came in and racked him. He went to the corner, caught the haluva kick after Roman Reigns said, "Yeah, that's good." Was holding him, and like it was just like one of those things. And Owens was in his arms, and he just laid him down, and he was just like, "Here you go, man!" Like jump on him, and that was it. So yeah, your winners were the Bloodline. Absolutely dominated in this match.
I really like what they're doing with this story
Yeah,
with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline because eventually, I think what's going to happen is that the Bloodline, namely Jay Uso, is going to find a way to turn on Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn has gotten the approval of
yeah,
everybody at this point.
that's important.
He's shown that he's loyal. He's shown that if not to Jay, he's shown to Roman
Yeah,
that he is loyal to Roman and to the bloodline, which played throughout this match as well. And the fact of the matter is at some point soon, if not at WrestleMania, they're going to play off of this where Jay's just his, I don't know, would you call it jealousy? Jay's jealousy to.
but here's the thing in me for old school long term storytelling. Roman and Jay was the very first ever he got his absolute annihilated butt kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's come full circle and Jay's like, you know what? Time to get mine. And Jay goes off and does like the Tama Tonga thing from the Bullet Club and he does his own boy stuff. And who knows? But like I said, like I didn't expect the end of it like that. I really didn't. I thought that somebody was going to turn on somebody or something was going to happen. But no, it was like, hey man, we're all good. And even if they keep it like that, I'm good with it because the bloodline needs to be dominant at least for a little bit longer until they build up somebody else that comes in and say, hey, yeah, they got it. So I don't know, man. What do
Yeah.
what do you think overall about the entire show?
I'm just happy that it was a 3 hour show. It wasn't 5 hours of matches or anything like that. It wasn't 13 matches. It was very compact. It continued storylines for a lot of folks.
Yup.
Um, and the best storyline in WWE right now, which is the Bloodline and Sami Zayn, it continues to go whether or not they get the Rock the Dwayne Johnson as a part of
The
their
Doc Ron Johnson Ranger
Rock the Dwayne Johnson
Golden Corral.
involved in some or in WrestleMania. I was about to say SummerSlam involved in WrestleMania. They still have a storyline there
Yeah.
because they could always have Sami Zayn in place of The Rock or whatever they want to do. I still think that it should be at WrestleMania, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, where they win the
Yep.
tag team championships, and whatever they do with Roman Reigns and The Rock or whomever. But they keep that story going and it moves on into Royal Rumble, which they could even do having like Sami Zayn win the Rumble or something like that, just to kind of.
Wouldn't that be a crazy plot twist on y'all? Talking about Sami Zayn, that guy ain't nothing but a bigger than a chicken. It don't matter. He's got it. Everything they've ever given that dude has been absolute poo poo right in his hand, and he has turned it into a fine 5-star meal all the time.
Yeah.
Y'all are sleeping on him. Y'all need to go back and watch some of the stuff he's done the whole time he's been up at the main roster, man. The only thing I worry about, and this is on me, is if he gets in with Owens, that they do the whole same diatribe where they go and have them go. I don't want to see that no more, man. I want to see them be together, and then I want to see them grow like this together. I don't need to see them against each other, man. There's plenty of people be against them. Let's move on from that. Let's do something different this time. And Trips, I'm talking to you out there, old boy, with your bald headed boy. You know what's up? I'm gonna check you like Memphis. You don't know about that. Anyway, yeah. But like Yellow Boy's saying, I don't mean to interrupt, take your spot. The show did. It flowed. It was like it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It was one right after the other. There wasn't a lot of bull crap. The pre-show had all that stuff in it. It was like
Yeah.
we were watching the pre-show and hopefully it was a match. No, they was not a match, but there wasn't a lot of that kind of stuff going out through the show. I appreciate that about the WWE. I think AEW can pick up a little bit of that kind of stuff. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I
Anyway,
mean,
yeah.
the AEW has some ways to learn. I think they try to overpack their shows with a bunch of stuff or whatnot. I think WWE has learned from trial and error from the past. Like, hey, look, your pay per views just, and this is one of the big four of the pay per views. So, you know, dude, like the Chris Benoit fingers.
Like that. That's awful.
You don't
That
have
was brutal.
you don't have a weight set here. Um,
Yeah, that's brutal.
but it flowed better. I do appreciate the Survivor Series show. I think the next PLE that they're going to have is for NXT, which is Deadline with that convoluted. Uh, I forget what the name of the match is called. The Survivor. I don't remember the name of it. Iron Survivor match, whatever they're doing. Like, yeah, that's going to be the next one, and then after that, it's going to be the Royal Rumble. So, um, yeah. Overall, if I were to give this a star rating, which I'm not Dave Meltzer, but if I were to give this a star rating, I would give it 3.5 out of 5 myself. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't the greatest. I think the highlights were from the War Games matches and obviously the triple threat for the U.S. title. The low point, unfortunately, is the women's SmackDown title.
This time it was brutal.
Yeah, it was a hard watch, and maybe moving forward they can do something. I mean, they're expanding their women's division, which that's a whole Triple H thing. They're bringing all these new or all these old women from the past in, and sorry, this is gonna be on me. I know earlier you said one was on you. This is on me. To all y'all fools who are just was chomping at the bits, thinking that Sasha Banks and Naomi were coming back for this show,
Yeah.
on you, cause
Yeah.
like that ain't happening. I don't think she's coming back until after the new year, and if she comes back, I don't think it's gonna initially be with WWE. That's not me reporting. That's just me with reckless speculation. I think she's gonna go somewhere else before she goes to WWE. So, but for all y'all who are, it's gonna be Sasha Banks. She's gonna get in. No, Sasha Banks is showing all of you folks that she doesn't need the WWE. The WWE needs her.
Right.
She can do anything that she wants. She's getting out there with modeling. She's getting out there with acting. She's getting out there. She's on red carpets. She's everywhere, and she's bringing Naomi along with her for that. I don't mean that as a negative for Naomi, but I'm just saying she's just showing that hey, we're more than just wrestlers, and we have more value than just being wrestlers. So you need to up our money, up our importance, if you're going to want to bring us back to this wrestling foray. So
And they should be. I mean that's only right. Like it ain't 1955, dude. Like the women wrestlers and the competitors, they're like right there with the dudes. And some of them are amazing, like all across the spectrum and all promotions. Like they're some of my favorite stuff to watch. Just in this show, it was not. But I'm not gonna go that Cornette route talking about I fast forwarded or I went to sleep or I made a sandwich. No, I think some of those are the best. I really do. Like, and that's from the bottom of my heart. Like I watched the whole thing. That's what I believe, and they should get. They know their worth. She knows what she's worth,
mm-hmm.
and if you're not gonna give it to her, guess what? You ain't gonna hook me up. I'll find somebody that will, and that's how it is. And she's gonna take Naomi with her. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
But don't be surprised if y'all don't see not Naomi, but Sasha Banks going into New Japan with their new women's champion, Kairi, formerly known as Kairi Sane,
Mm-hmm.
and going against her in some form of exhibition or championship match. With all the training that she's been doing in Mexico and Japan, I would not put that you know, that again, reckless spec. I haven't heard that from anybody. That's not been broadcast anywhere. But don't be surprised if you don't see her at least at Wrestle Kingdom, or like the shows that they have right after Wrestle Kingdom. I
Yeah.
can't remember what they're called, but
It's all the same. Man.
yeah, it's like the
It's like a
fallout
blow
from
off.
Wrestle.
Yeah, exactly right.
From Wrestle Kingdom going against them. So
7-Eleven.
anyway, but if you get lonely, we have bots in the chat that.
Yeah. Hey, if you need to figure out where you need to go in your life because you're alone, they definitely hitting up because of Hogs Wars. But y'all find them at www. Sorry, I can't tell you because if I did, that'd be breaching my contract with my BlueChews.com, ain't it?
you use the passcode OHB.
OHB. Hey,
Not a
for
sponsor.
the forbidden fruit of the forbidden garden, baby. That's right.
If your penis is getting too soft, then get you a Blue Chew to get that thing. Feed me, Seymour. Into.
Yeah. So that's right. But anyway, yeah. I mean that's been Survivor Series. Like y'all should go watch it for yourself and you're like, yeah, these dudes covered everything that we really cared about in this match. Like they really wasn't a whole lot going on with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before you leave, before we get done here, make sure, guys, that you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you put comments in the comment section. That helps to, you know, satisfy our algorithm overlords that we have to satisfy and make sacrifices to every time we do these streams. Tell your friends about this if you like what we do. Make sure somewhere around here at some point there's going to be some kind of thing that pops up if you're watching this on catch up that lets you watch this guy right here, which is 60-second sips. Watch this guy right here with the what is it? Touch of brews, taste of brews, the
Shot of brew. Come on, buddy. He's gonna have to blow into a thing before he leaves this place to figure out like beep beep off. That's right.
But all the things that we do, and then also make sure that you go to Wampler Sausage or wamplersfarms.com for anything that you want for Hogs Wars, because right now he's in some form of photo shoot I think with Wampler Sausage.
Yeah.
He said it had something to do with a pig, some boas, and flowers in the field. I don't know. He said something.
Getting absolutely beat down with a Coke bottle. I don't know what that meant, but something's happening. And we might have to go bail him out.
So go support him at Wampler's Farms. But outside of that, where can they find you at, OHB?
Man, you can find me at all them social medias. And my being all them, I'm talking about Twitters, Instagrams, TikToks, because I ain't telling you about my Facebook. But you can find me over here, boy, all them boys. And on Twitch, actually. I play games every now and then. But I tell you right now, you better not bring your kids. Yeah, for sure.
And you can find me over at Twitter at Badass Yellow Boy. That's BADAZZ _YELLABOI. Follow us. You see, right over there on this side, this area here. You can catch us here at all these on Instagram, Twitch. And you're already on YouTube. Find us there at Bros, Brews, and Botches. Again, thank you for those who've been following. Thank you for all of your support. Continue to do that. And anything else before we get going?
One last thing. If y'all know how to use Linktree, if you go on there and look for Bros, Brews, and Botches, it'll show you everywhere you can find us. So yeah, I'm gonna post that going forward too on these streams for ends of viewing enjoyment. But other than that, yeah, we're everywhere and nowhere at the same time, ain't it? Yeah, I don't have nothing else.
Outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. This has been Bros, Brews, and Botches. That's been Over Here Boy. I'm Yellow Boy. Hogs Wars is somewhere out in the ether. And until next time,